After the divorce, I completely vanished from Pedro Pay's world. No one believed I would leave. They all placed bets on how many days it would take for me to return. Pedro Pay also scoffed and laughed. A few days. Try 3 minutes. Blanca Shen is useless. She can't earn money, and she has no parents. If I call her, she'll come crawling back like a dog. Later, Pedro Pay called me countless times, but I never answered. He panicked and searched for me frantically. 3 years later, I attended a banquet with my daughter and accidentally ran into him. The once proud man instantly reddened. He grabbed me tightly, his voice trembling as he asked, "Mine?" After the divorce, Pedro Pay changed the door passcode, and I still had some belongings to retrieve. I went to find him, only to witness this scene. Inside the private room, his circle of friends placed bets on how many days it would take for me to return. Pedro Pay scoffed and laughed. A few days. Try 3 minutes. Blanca Shen is useless. She can't earn money, and she has no parents. If I call her, she'll come crawling back like a dog. Then, he casually tossed the watch from his wrist onto the table, his tone confident. It won't be long before she begs me to remarry. Some even bet she won't come back. Overestimating Blanca Shen. She can't live without me. The crowd erupted in cheers. His friend Lu Qing asked, "No plans to remarry? Xiaoyu has liked you for so long. Don't be impulsive." Before Pedro Pay could answer, someone else cut in. "No way. Pedro never liked Blanca Shen. She was the one shamelessly clinging to him. She's not even pretty or well built. Her parents died 2 years ago. How could she possibly deserve Pedro now? Even if she kneels and begs, Pedro wouldn't remarry her. Besides," he glanced teasingly at Bella Bai, who was sitting beside Pedro Pay, "his white moonlight is back. What does Blanca Shen even count for?" Their laughter pierced my heart like needles. I clenched my fists, struggling to stay calm. During our marriage, I once asked Pedro Pay about his white moonlight. At the time, he casually smiled and said, "That's all in the past. What matters is the present." I didn't press further and let it go, until 6 months ago, when Bella Bai returned to the country, and Pedro Pay threw a welcome party for her. That night, he stayed out for the first time. Then came the second, third, and countless more times. In the private room, everyone chattered away. Pedro Pay listened with a faint smile, occasionally chiming in but never denying anything. Bella Bai, seeing this, coquettishly interjected, "You're all so mean, talking behind a girl's back like this. Besides, Blanca Shen didn't do anything wrong. She just loved Pedro too much. Too bad Pedro likes me. All these years, I never thought he'd still be waiting for me." Her cheeks flushed as she gazed at Pedro Pay with affection. Pedro Pay was equally moved. "I only married Blanca Shen because my family approved. I've been waiting for someone else all along." Everyone knew who that someone was. My heart, hanging by a thread, finally shattered. All this time, I'd felt Pedro Pay was somewhat distant toward me, but I couldn't pinpoint anything wrong. He remembered birthdays and anniversaries, always gifting me something. After every fight, he'd be the first to apologize and make up. I thought he loved me. Turns out, it was because he didn't. For 5 years of marriage, he'd been acting. It was all me, hopelessly in love alone. My heart was utterly broken. I released my clenched hands, now marked with nail imprints, and turned to leave. But Lu Qing, who'd stepped out to use the restroom, spotted me. "You're here. Why not come in?" I shook my head. "No, it's not appropriate." "Why not?" Pedro Pay emerged from the room, hands in his pockets, eyeing me dismissively. "You came here to see me, didn't you? Why leave without saying anything?" Compared to his composure, my tear-streaked face was a pathetic sight. Love is always like this. The favored one is fearless. That's why he could trample on my dignity without a second thought. The others gradually stepped out, their mocking gazes landing on me, especially Bella Bai, who looked at me with the pity of a victor. "Pedro, you just divorced Ms. Shen. Don't be so harsh. She must be heartbroken. Talk to her nicely." Pedro Pay replied dotingly. "Okay." Everyone laughed. I suddenly regretted coming here today. Wiping my tears, I steadied my voice. "Pedro Pay changed the passcode. I came to get my things, but forget it. I don't need them anymore. Sorry for the disturbance. Goodbye." "Wait." Bella Bai stepped forward, linking her arm with mine. "Pedro has something to say. You were married, after all. Even though he loves me, now that you're here, some things should be made clear." "Oh, and you don't like Pedro anymore, do you?" I was confused, unsure of her angle, until she added with a smile, "After divorce, you can't cling to Pedro anymore. I'd get jealous. Ms. Shen, you wouldn't ruin our relationship, would you?" A wolf in sheep's clothing. Bellaby's specialty. Furious, I shook her off. She played the victim. Pedro Pay and I were married first. She was the one who crossed boundaries and stole him away. Now she had the audacity to warn me. Stop talking nonsense. Before I could finish, Bellaby fell heavily to the ground. I froze, staring at my hands. I hadn't pushed her that hard. Blanca Shen, what the hell are you doing? Pedro Pay's furious voice rang out as he shoved past me. To kneel beside Bellaby, I stumbled back, lost my footing, and tumbled down the stairs. The world spun, dizzy and in pain. I barely registered Pedro Pay carrying Bellaby downstairs. His gaze icy. You brought this on yourself. To hurt Juan. You'd go this far, even resorting to a pity act. Blanca Shen, we're divorced. If you have any dignity left, don't bother me again. Bellaby's eyes reddened as she whispered tearfully. Pedro, it's okay. Ms. Shen is just upset I took you away. Her tears made Pedro Pay's expression twist with disgust. Even his friends frowned at me. With a few words, Bellaby had turned everyone against me, but I had bigger concerns. My stomach was in agony. I reached out, weakly grabbing Pedro Pay's pant leg. Pedro Pay, my stomach hurts. Take me to the hospital. Call an ambulance. Pedro Pay hesitated. Stomach pain. Where did you hit? Ah, it hurts. Pedro, my ankle. Woo-woo. Pedro, will I still be able to dance? Bellaby suddenly wailed, pulling Pedro Pay's attention away. His expression shifted instantly. No, I'll take you to the hospital right now. What about me? I clung to his pant leg, begging for him to look back, but Pedro Pay shook me off and rushed away with Bellaby. Watching his retreating figure, I whispered, Pedro Pay, I hate you. Before Bellaby returned, Pedro Pay and I had no issues. When he stayed out late, he claimed work kept him busy. I understood and urged him to take care of himself. Until one day, I called Pedro Pay, and a woman's gentle voice answered, Hello, Pedro's housekeeper. Sorry, he's drunk at my place. Could you bring some hangover soup? My heart ached sharply. I'd never faced this before and didn't know how to react. Two voices warred in my head, one urging me to trust Pedro Pay, the other accusing him of betrayal. In the end, I brought the soup to the address she gave. The door was unlocked. Pushing it open, I froze. Pedro Pay lay in Bellaby's arms, clutching her hand, murmuring, Juan, you're back. I waited so long. All these years, I thought I'd forgotten you. But seeing you again, I still love you. Bellaby sighed sadly. Don't say that. Pedro, you're married. We're in the past. Her voice cracked. Pedro Pay wiped her tears. Ernest, it's fine. I'll divorce her for you. Just say the word, and I'll end it. Their heartfelt exchange made me the villain. But I never knew Pedro Pay still loved Bellaby. When we married, he'd said it was all behind him. How foolish I was. Deceived so thoroughly. Opening my eyes, tears slid down my cheeks. Mom, Dad, I miss you. My stomach burned with hunger. Checking my phone. 8:15 p.m. I'd slept a full day. No one visited or comforted me. Opening my messages, I found a flood of photos from Bellaby, all of Pedro Pay. In one video, she said sweetly, maybe you should check on Ms. Shen. She seemed hurt too. Pedro Pay's smile vanished, as if I'd ruined his mood. He stirred the congee in his bowl, feeding her impatiently. Why bring her up? What a buzzkill. Marrying her was my biggest regret. Juan, you're too kind. My heart ached anew. Pedro Pay's wounds hadn't healed. I staggered out of bed, checked myself out of the hospital, and left without looking back. I got a new SIM card and called my grandparents. Hearing of my divorce, Grandma wept. Come home, child, come back to us. I agreed. My uncle had moved abroad years earlier, to help with his newborn. My grandparents followed. They'd been living overseas ever since. Packing my bags, I booked a flight and left Beijing behind. At the airport, Pedro Pay's face flashed in my mind. I laughed bitterly. His circle would be thrilled to know I was gone. Meanwhile, at the hospital, Pedro Pay frowned at the empty bed. He stopped a nurse. Where's the patient from bed 23? Blanca Shen. The nurse thought for a moment. Oh, she checked out. Left on the third day. Are you? She eyed Pedro Pay. Family. I'm her husband. The words slipped out. He tried to backtrack, but the nurse's next words stunned him. You're terribly irresponsible. Blanca Shen was pregnant when she arrived. She lost the baby. No one came to care for her. After a miscarriage, she needed rest, but she left on day 3. Take better care of her at home. She needs to recover. The nurse walked away. Pedro Pay stood frozen. Pregnant. Blanca Shen was pregnant. Why hadn't she told him? Frantic, he called Blanca Shen. The number you have dialed is currently unavailable. He redialed endlessly. No answer. Pedro Pay kicked the wall in frustration. Damn it. Pick up. When calls failed, he searched everywhere for Blanca Shin. Not at home. Not at her parents. He scoured every place she frequented. Nothing. He even contacted her old friends. No one had heard from her. Blanca Shin had vanished. Lu Qing ventured carefully. Xiaoyu's fragile. Could she have harmed herself? Panic seized Pedro Pay. No, Blanca Shen wouldn't, but doubt not at him. When her parents died in a crash, Blanca Shen had battled depression. It wasn't impossible. Just then, the door creaked open. Pedro Pay's eyes lit up. Xiaoyu, you're back. He rushed forward, only to see Bella Bai. His face fell. It's not her. Bella Bai seethed at his reaction. You divorced her. Why care if she lives or dies? Pedro Pay didn't answer. He thought Blanca Shen meant nothing, but her disappearance haunted him. 3 years later, I remarried abroad and had a lovely daughter, now nearly 2, when my husband's childhood friend married in Beijing. The 3 of us flew back. After landing, he dropped us home and left for work. I pretended to pout. Holding our daughter, work or family, you're always busy. When will you spend time with us? He kissed my forehead and took our child. Just a few more days, I promise. A workaholic. He adored his career and our little family. I understood. This was just me playfully nagging for attention. Fine, go. Be safe. Don't wait up tonight. Bored that afternoon, I took our daughter to a favorite restaurant. There, I ran into Lu Qing. As my daughter fussed, I nodded at him and left. Behind me, Lu Qing scratched his head. Blanca Shin's alive. Gotta call Pedro Pay. Pedro Pay, I just saw Blanca Shin. Pedro Pay laughed bitterly. Stop messing with me. She's gone. Lu Qing insisted. No, really. She had a little girl with her. If she were alive, why wouldn't she come to me? I've searched for 3 years. Nothing. Goodbye. Pedro Pay hung up, drowning his sorrows in alcohol. How he wished to see Blanca Shin again. The next morning, my husband and I attended the wedding. After greetings, he was whisked away by the groom. I stayed with the bride, our daughter charming everyone. As the room grew crowded, I stepped out with my fussy child. Blanca Shin. Someone called. I turned but saw no one familiar. Then a hand gripped my shoulder. Blanca Shin. Pedro Pay stood before me, gaunt and red-eyed. You're alive. Why didn't you come back? Where were you these 3 years? His gaze dropped to my daughter. His grip tightened, voice shaking. He asked. Mine. Memories flooded back. Surreal. Pedro Pay's expression was a mix of grief, shock, joy, once so controlled, now unraveled. I pushed his hand away, coolly distant. No. Long time no see. Pedro Pay. I'm remarried. Don't make a scene. I stepped back, holding my daughter. My coldness stunned him. He smiled bitterly. Don't lie, Blanca Shin. You left to punish me, didn't you? I searched for 3 years. Happy now. This is our child, right? The nurse said you miscarried, but I never believed you'd abort our baby. Now that you're back, let's raise her together. He gazed tenderly at my daughter. My heart ached at the mention of the child I'd lost, and I was appalled by his audacity. He assumed my daughter was his, that my disappearance was revenge, as if I were still the Blanca Shin who'd loved him blindly. Pedro Pay, I snapped. I see. Are you deaf? She's not yours. I'm married. This is my husband's child. Get help. Stop deluding yourself. As he gaped, I turned to leave. He chased me. No way. Blanca Shin. Explain. You remarried. Before I could answer, my husband appeared. He shielded us, pushing Pedro Pay away. Stay away from my wife and child. Pedro Pay shoved back, snarling. Who the hell are you? She's my wife and child. Slap. I'd had enough. Pedro Pay froze, touching his stinging cheek. Wounded. You hit me. Shaking out my numb hand, I passed my daughter to my husband. Listen carefully. Pedro Pay. I'm married. This is my husband. Our daughter is 20 months old. She's nothing to you. Don't harass us again. After the wedding, we went home in silence. My husband's mood was stormy. I wanted to explain but didn't know how. At home, he pinned me against the door. His kiss was fierce, desperate, breathless. I stopped him. Nothing happened between us. I know. Really, I can tell you everything. He loosened his tie, voice rough. Don't need to. Just focus on us now. We woke the next morning tangled together. Downstairs, my husband fed our daughter, patiently wiping her messy face. This was the domestic bliss I'd once dreamed of with Pedro Pay. 3 years ago, that dream shattered. I thought life was over, until I met my now husband. He was my uncle's friend. When I first arrived abroad, heartbroken, My uncle sent him to fetch me. On the plane, I'd dreamed of a little girl, blurry-faced, pigtailed. She'd said, "Mom and Dad don't love each other. I'll come back to you later, Mom." I cried the entire ride. My husband, then stranger, silently handed me tissues. Later, he told my uncle and grandparents. They conspired to set us up. At first, I resisted, but my uncle said, "You can't stay single forever. Pedro pays a scumbag, but not all men are. Listen, the best way to heal from a man's hurt is with another man. He's older but caring. Give it a try." He winked. "Move on." Reluctantly, I agreed, and discovered this quiet man suited me better than Pedro Pay ever had. We dated, got engaged, married. At our wedding, my drunk uncle clutched my hand. "I just wanted you to move on, not remarry so fast." I laughed awkwardly. My husband smiled, helping him up. "Don't worry, Uncle, I'll treat her right." Pedro Pay somehow got my number. I answered unsuspectingly. "Hello." Silence. "Pedro Pay here." I hung up. He called repeatedly until I snapped. "What do you want?" His voice was pleading. "Just to talk." "Xiaoyu, where were you all these years? I missed you. Since you left, I can't forget you. I still live in our old home, stuck in the past. Come back." This sounded familiar. When Bellaby returned, he'd said the same to her. Copy, paste love. How cheap. I scoffed. "Get therapy. Delusions can turn psychotic. I'm happy now. Don't bother me. Remember what you said during the divorce." Pedro Pay hesitated. "You really remarried?" "Yes." "When?" 2 years ago. 2. Ha. He laughed bitterly. "I searched for 3 years, and you moved on in 1. Blanca Shen." His voice rose. "How could you? I suffered for 3 years. Every day. I worried you'd hurt yourself, and now you're happy with someone else. What about me? How can I just let go?" I stayed silent for a long moment. Fate was ironic. I'd clawed my way out of hell, shedding skin. Now, the one who pushed me and begged for rescue from the abyss. Sighing, I hung up, annoyed. I texted my husband, "Let's go home after work." He replied instantly, "Okay." Pedro Pay bombarded me with calls and texts. He even showed up at my doorstep. Not wanting my husband to see, I agreed to meet at a cafe. Pedro Pay left first. When I arrived, only Bellaby waited. She glared. "Blanca Shen, you just won't disappear." Her eyes raked over my designer clothes, playing dead to make Pedro suffer. "I thought you were naive." I laughed coldly. She'd nearly destroyed me, yet dared judge me. Bye. I'm remarried. No need for hostility. Where's Pedro Pay? She narrowed her eyes. "Who knows? Maybe you hired that husband to taunt Pedro, showing up with a kid, pretending to be happy. Isn't this revenge? Is that child really Pedro's?" My patience snapped. Bellaby had pulled this stunt years ago, flaunting a male friend to make Pedro jealous. It ended with Pedro marking her neck with hickeys. Those vivid bruises still haunted me. Dirty minds saw filth everywhere. Not every man's a prize. Pedro Pays trash to me. Don't flatter yourself. Xiaoyu. Pedro Pay appeared, pale and well dressed. Before I could speak, Bellaby grabbed my wrist, sobbing, Shen, please give Pedro back. We've loved each other for years. We're engaged. Our wedding's next month. Why return now? I'm pregnant. Our first child. Have mercy." The cafe fell silent as she wailed. I recoiled, but she clung tighter, then screamed and fell, just like before. This time, I caught her. Her eyes widened in panic. "Done with games." I kicked her shin. "Take your trash. Stop bothering me." She crumpled, clutching her stomach, whimpering to Pedro Pay. "It hurts. Our baby." Pedro Pay stepped forward and shielded me. Coldly, he said, 3 years ago, your act cost me a child. I won't repeat that mistake. We used protection every time. Let's go." Bellaby shrieked. "Pedro, how could you? I gave you everything." "Pedro." Her cries echoed as I left. "Karma's a bitch." Outside, Pedro Pay's hands trembled. "Why didn't you tell me you were pregnant? We could have worked it out." I laughed harshly. "Work what out?" He faltered. "I deserved to know." "You deserved nothing. I'd lost the baby before realizing I was pregnant. Back then, Pedro Pay and I were estranged. Our last intimacy happened when he came home drunk, murmuring, 'Baby, I'm sorry, let's make this work.'" I'd softened, until I saw hickeys on Bellaby's neck. He'd been with her first. I was just his release. That night, I resolved to divorce, then learned I was pregnant. 3 years ago, when I came for my things, you pushed me down the stairs for Bellaby. That's when I lost the baby. I begged you to take me to the hospital, but her ankle pain mattered more. A stranger called my ambulance. Pedro Pay paled. Speechless, finally, he whispered, "I'm sorry, I didn't know. Words couldn't undo the past. It's better this way. You'd have accused me of using the baby to trap you. No child deserves parents like us." I turned to leave. Pedro Pay called after me, "Xiaoyu, I wish you happiness. I will be happy. At home." My husband played with our daughter. He glanced up, silent and sulky. I sat beside him, mad at me. He shook his head, "No," then seriously added, "Blanca Shin, I'm your husband. You can tell me anything." This solemnity was rare, reserved for disciplining our child or when I'd sneaked to the nursery postpartum. I realized he was upset I'd seen Pedro Pay alone. I hugged him. "Don't be mad. I just wanted to end things. I didn't tell you because you were working. I handled it. It's over now." His expression softened. I knew Pedro Pay's shadow bothered him, so I offered, "Want to hear about Pedro Pay and me?" He only knew I'd been hurt, not the details. A gentleman, he'd never pried, and I'd avoided the topic. Now, I wanted no secrets between us. After hearing everything, he was silent for a long time. Then he growled, "Shit, he's a bastard." I laughed into his chest. Yes, a total bastard. After wrapping up in Beijing, we flew home. Before leaving, my husband's friends hosted a farewell dinner. The bride, Xia Han, squeezed my hand sympathetically. "How are you holding up? That mess didn't affect you, right?" I blinked. "What mess?" She flushed, realizing her mistake. My husband smiled faintly. "Nothing major. Ask Xia Han if you're curious." Then I learned, Bella Bai had slandered me online, painting me as a homewrecker and herself as the victim. Footage from the cafe went viral. "Absurd. Don't worry," Xia Han said. "Your husband's suing her. I'm his lawyer. I'll make sure she pays." Her confidence cheered me. "Go get her, Xia Han." She then shared gossip. "Pedro Pay truly searched for me 3 years. He thought I'd drowned myself. Even hired divers to search a river, because the last CCTV footage showed me walking toward it. Overestimating Blanca Shin. She can't live without me. What a joke. He drove me away. Plus, I hadn't hidden my flight details. He simply refused to believe I'd leave him." 2 months later, Xia Han texted, "Bella Bai got jail time." 1 month. I paid influencers to spread the news. Let her taste her own medicine. As I drove my daughter to preschool, I spotted Pedro Pay again. He'd followed me abroad, lurking near my home, still trying to rewrite history. But some mistakes can't be undone. It's time we all moved on.